Hey guys, it's David from theunlocker.com. Today we're doing a quick review on the Motorola Milestone. Okay, if you're not already there, head over to theunlocker.com, spelled like that in the address bar, and you can search for our phone review of the Motorola Milestone. Since this phone does run on Android 2.0.1 with an update to 2.1, you can do our quick Android 2.0 overview by clicking on either the eclair or the link beneath it to get a quick overview of how Android 2.0 works and the differences between it and Android 1.6. Also on this page you'll find images and specifications for the Motorola Milestone as well. Okay, first we'll do a quick unboxing. It's the Milestone box. Just so you guys aren't confused, the Milestone is a GSM version of the Motorola Droid we have here in the States. GSM phones only work on GSM carriers. The one that's on Verizon is CDMA. It will only work on CDMA carriers. So here we go. The phone itself. Simple little box. Comes with CD-ROM, manual, USB charger, and a wired headphone set. That's pretty much it. Okay, now for the hardware of the device. We got a 3.7-inch capacitive touchscreen. It's got 480 by 854 pixel resolution. There's also a proximity sensor up here at the top to turn off the screen if you're making a phone call and your face gets near it. So this way you don't accidentally push stuff on the screen. There are 4 Android standard buttons down here at the bottom, which are back, menu, home, and search. On the Milestone, they're touch sensitive, so they're not physical buttons. They just are able to sense the heat from your finger. We have a 3.5mm headphone jack on the top, so it'll fit all your standard plugs. We also have an on-off switch, which also locks and unlocks the device. Side here we have a volume rocker for controlling the volume, and a camera button, which I love to see because I think it's the most natural and the quickest way to take a picture. You know, it's normally how a camera would work. On the side here we have a micro USB port, so any micro USB can connect to it. On the back we have a 5.0 megapixel camera with dual LED flash. If you've ever taken a picture in low light with a phone, you know how impossible it is without a flash, so it's nice to see that they have a flash here. The camera is capable of D1 video recording, which is 720 by 480. We also have stereo speakers, even though on the back here they're right next to each other, which kind of defeats the purpose, but, you know. So, besides that, we also have a 1400 milliamp battery. When you remove the battery, you have a slot for your SIM card and for your micro SD. Back on the front, we have our slide-out QWERTY keyboard. The sliding mechanism is pretty sturdy, and it clicks. It's not spring-loaded though, so it doesn't open itself all the way up. We have a 4-row QWERTY keyboard here. The buttons have a nice play to them, so you feel like you're actually using a regular keyboard, which is kind of nice. And then we also have a D-pad here for navigating, either through menus or on websites, etc. The big gold thing in the middle is actually the select button. On the inside of the device, we have a 600 MHz Cortex-A processor with a PowerVR SGX 530 graphics chip. This is very similar to what's in an iPhone 3GS. The iPhone 3GS has a SGX 535 graphics chip instead of 530, but the processor, etc. are the same. And then we also have 256 megabytes of RAM. Okay, so since this is an Android device, it's going to have very similar features and menu options, etc. to any other Android device. So for a quick look at Android 2.0 and the differences between that and the Android 1.6, you can click on the link right underneath this video on our website and get a quick overview that way. Okay, what really separates different Android handsets, since they share the same OS, the market for downloading apps, which you can work on most of their phones, etc., is their hardware. So what the Milestone has in hardware that shines on Android are, first, it has this large 3.7-inch screen, which displays really bright and gives you plenty of real estate for putting your apps, you know, your widgets, as well as using the browser. Having a much larger screen with a higher resolution means you can fit more stuff. It looks a little bit more like the web pages should be rendered normally. Okay, the next thing is the processor and the graphics chip that kind of set this apart. It's got a decent processor, 600 megahertz. It's actually the exact same processor that's in the iPhone 3GS. It also has a graphics chip, which is similar to the iPhones. It's a different model number, but very similar. And the graphics chip basically handles graphics separately so that the processor can handle other things on its own. So what that means basically though is that the phone runs pretty quick. It's pretty responsive. You can swipe through stuff. Bringing stuff up and swiping through it works pretty well. Opening apps, switching through them, all works really quickly. And the last thing, as far as hardware is concerned, is the slide-out keyboard. For some reason, a lot of high-end Android devices don't have a slide-out keyboard. Not sure why, but the Milestone does. It also has this D-pad here on the side for selecting stuff on the screen, which is nice. So that is something that it has over its competitors for people that like a physical keyboard, that is. Okay, now some of the manufacturers also add in their own software in the form of either widgets, custom UIs, or apps. Motorola didn't do a custom UI on the Milestone like they did on the Click. They did their Blur user interface. But they did add a few apps, and they did add a widget or two. Okay, some of their apps that they added in here where they added a special exchange syncing calendar and contacts app called Corporate Calendar and Corporate Directory. If you have an Exchange server at work or you use an Exchange server yourself, you can set these up so that they can sync with your Exchange server and download all your contacts, all your calendar information, and seamlessly sync back and forth whenever you change anything. Another app they added is called the Phone Portal for Motorola. So what this does is, if you have it set up on your computer, it allows you to either connect in with the USB cable or connect over Wi-Fi and sync any stuff that's on your computer, like pictures, music, videos, whatever, to the phone seamlessly, and it's a nice little addition for Motorola to have. Okay, and lastly, Motorola also added a free trial to their MotoNav software. MotoNav is basically their turn-by-turn navigation software. It's a free trial. It's not too expensive to buy it itself, but to be honest, most people are probably going to be using the Google Maps with free navigation since that is now available, so to each his own. Okay, Motorola also added a widget or two. So if you click on widgets, they added the corporate calendar to go along with their corporate calendar app. It shows the latest events in their corporate calendar. And they also added a world clock where you can add different clocks in here and hit save, and it just puts a little clock that you can move around. Okay, that's pretty much it for our quick Motorola review. If you're wondering why we didn't go over things like the messaging, the market, the contacts, the phone, etc., it's because they're pretty much the same in all Android devices, and we have a quick Android 2.0 overview. So if you want to know about those kind of features on the phone, just click on our quick Android 2.0 overview right underneath this video, and you can watch that quick video for some demonstration of how those things work. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a comment.